al comenzar la celebración de esta Eucaristía que se ofrece en acción de gracias a la Virgen por la familia Donato Pantaleón de Castro Laurel Bautista.
All right, Tita Mary, where are we right now? How are you?
Hello, Andrea. We are actually in Malaga, Spain, by the Mediterranean Sea.
Look
The
at that.
beautiful Mediterranean Sea.
All right, and how are we connected to Malaga? We're from the Philippines.
Yes, my grandfather actually came from Malaga, from a town called Huelva. And in the middle of the 18th century, when he was 17 years old, he decided that he wanted to take a journey. And he said, I'm young, I have no family, so here I go. I have a dream. I want to follow my dream. And there he sailed all the way that brought him to the Philippines in Vigan, Ilocos Sur.
Wow, so he just came to the Philippines just because, and he made a life for himself there. What did he do?
Yes, he was working for Tabacalera, which is a Spanish company that makes cigars. So that was very popular. And they would make cigars there, it's cheaper, and then bring it back to the motherland, which is Spain.
Oh, very good. And then he started the family, pretty much, right?
Met my grandma, very beautiful Ilocana from Vigan, and he fell in love and married her. And they had about 10 children. And my mom, Carmen, was the eldest of the girls, you know, because they had boys. First three born were men. And then we had Carmen, who was the fourth born.
And he never came back here, you
I
said,
don't
right?
think so. I don't think he ever came back. He died in 1925 at the, when my parents got married, he asked that they marry around his bedside because that was his last wish. So that's a story to tell.
Okay, so Salvador never came back to Malaga, but we're here now, and Lola Nena also came back. What do you think about that?
No. Lola Nena came back after spending her whole life in Manila and then going to the United States where her husband trained, became a doctor. And then only after she became retired, she was financially secure, did she find her way back to Benalmádena.
How far are we from there?
We're here. This is called Costa del Sol. So if you pan the camera over here, Anna, you're going to see that Costa del Sol, Coast of the Sun. She got a condominium unit there and lived for 20 years. Essentially, she had to go back to the United States because that's where all her kids were. But she tried to recapture a part of her history that's established here, that originated from here.
And she wrote it all down, right?
She wrote it all down, and I made it a point a few weeks ago to ask my Aunt Mary to bring me back to where it all began. How Salvador Rivero y Ruiz found his way in a ship going to Manila, never to return again, because at 17, I mean, he must have been out of high school at best. So he didn't have too much education at that time. Huelva was a little part of Spain, and in 1874, Spain was past its prime. As a matter of fact, within 20 years, Spain would lose the Philippines. So it was going down. So he must not have had a good education, but he chose to leave. You never leave a place that's good to you, right? I mean, Huelva at that time must have been so suffocating for him that he chose to throw caution to the winds and marry a Filipina literally more than halfway around the globe.
What do you think, or how do you bring this now to the future? You bring your children, who is the first time that they're exposed to this.
Yes.
So how would you move forward to the future? What would you like your children to continue?
Never to be afraid to flee. Never to be afraid to chase your dreams. And like Salvador Rivero y Ruiz. I want you
That's good.
I want you to know that. And then part of why we're also here was because a month and a half ago I did a DNA test which showed that I have 15% Spanish blood.
Viva
So
España!
I just had to make sure that that I really care, that I had to visit, part of my provenance.
So, in conclusion, I think the moral of the story is we are passing the flame. It's like the Olympics, the Olympic flame. The torch is being passed on. So, I have carried the torch. We are still carrying the torch. But now it's also time to pass it on to the new generation that will continue the story. And that's the dream. That is my dream, to continue that story with you, to own the story and pass it on.
All right.
Because this has become our story.
Yeah.
Mabuhay!
See? That